start. Well, first of all, thank you very much, all of you, for coming to this webinar. It's going to be a webinar about how to sell using Landbot. So Landbot can be used in a thousand different ways, and selling is definitely one of the most profitable, obviously, and it's super easy to configure a couple of integrations and start making money out of your Landbot. So the structure is going to be as usual. We'll be covering a presentation that's going to show you a little bit of what we're going to see during the webinar. Then we'll show you, well, the flow, we'll test it, we'll see the integrations, and we'll explain you how it all works. And finally, we'll have a Q&A session. It's not going to be super long because we always run out of time at the end. But yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A session below. Sometimes you send questions using the chat. We are not taking the chat during the webinar, so please use the Q&A section specifically for it. And yeah, I think we're good to go. By the way, I would love you to also let us know which use case would you like us to cover. So we've been doing a lot of webinars, some basic Landbot building and things like that, but we'll try to do a series on different use cases. This is the first one, how to sell using Landbot. So if you have any other idea, if you want us to cover some specific use case of your sector, of your business, let us know, because we'll be using your ideas for the following webinars. So, all right, let's start. I'm gonna switch up our camera and I'll start sharing my screen. All right, you should be watching the classic already banana from my desktop. And let's move on to the presentation. Nope, it's not share. Sorry, guys. Present. So this is going to be a webinar. Wi-Fi success. Great interface, by the way. All right, sorry guys, we're here. So yeah, I was saying that we will try to cover a really simple use case, just 3 products on how to sell using your Landbot. But what we really want with this webinar is give you that idea of what's possible with Landbot and how can you integrate different tools in order to, well, to make money out of it. So it doesn't really matter if it's a product, if it's a service, if you're selling tickets for an event. So it's just about the whole concept of being able to showcase stuff using Landbot and monetizing it using our Stripe integration and tracking it all using our Google spreadsheet integration. So the possibilities are endless. We'll be covering some simple e-commerce, just 3 products, and I hope to enjoy it. So as I was saying, where are the controls? All right. Yeah, so it's the 2 of us, Jackie and me. We'll be answering your questions. I don't know what's wrong with the internet. I believe it's not loading for any of us. Let me present again. All right. So yeah, the 2 of us, and we build a Landbot that sells stuff with features, with different features. Which one? Like Stripe integration, of course. In order to monetize, we need that Stripe integration to generate payments. We'll be we've integrated Google Sheets too, and we have really interesting use cases here, like order tracking, delivery status, real-time stock information. So there's a lot of things you can do with Google Sheets, and we'll show you in a while. And of course, the classical ones like conditional logic or human takeover to jump into the conversation, and some other features like hidden fields. Hidden fields are not only useful to send variables through the URL, there's much more related to hidden fields. Also, the Zapier integration, we'll be sending a confirmation email using Zapier, and much more. So finally, we have that Q&A session. All right, guys, so let's start with the chatbot. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remind you that we are recording this webinar. So yeah, we'll be sending the recorded webinar right at the end for those of you that might be wondering. But yes, we are recording it and we'll send it to you. It's still not an automated process. That's something we need to work in. But yeah, I believe tomorrow we'll be sending it so you can review it during the weekend. Also for those of you that are not watching it live. So yeah, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the Landbot app. The builder is already here open, so I'm going to go to the share section, and first thing I'm going to go through the chatbot as a final user. So you can check the different sections, how it all works, and then we'll go back to the builder and you'll check yeah, the whole connections, every single block and how they all interact. So share section to access the URL. I'm sorry about my internet connection. It seems to be quite poor in this room. I mean, we're in a huge room actually. We've seen millions of plus 100 people here, but still the internet is not, it's not great. So I'm gonna copy the link. I'm gonna open up private navigation, paste it here, and let's try it out. Boom, boom, boom. Here it is. So the first thing you might notice is that the distribution of the interface is slightly different from most Landbots. We've introduced a new design template. I think it's called Vlad. And instead of having the menu on top, it has it on the left side of the screen. So this is basically the logo, the tagline, the persistent menu. So it gets like a different feeling. It feels more like a hybrid website or something. I believe it's really interesting if your audience is not that used to chatbots, so they can recognize at least something. It looks like a hamburger menu or something. So it's a great way of a great template to build your first Landbot. So welcome to the store of Sunglasses Inc. We got Tom Cruise here. What can we help you with today? So we got 3 different options. This is going to be the main structure of the Landbot. We got some products here. We got some info, and then we got this cool feature, order tracking. Still a bit manual, but really interesting, and I will show you how it works. So first thing, the most classical section, it's going to be info. So here, as any other given e-commerce or website, we're gonna give some information on, I don't know, shipping, on return policy, about us. So this is just some lorem ipsum, basically. So yeah, going back to products, let's click here. If I click here or here, it's gonna happen pretty much the same. So I click here on products, and it's gonna ask me, please select the category. We have 3 categories here, just to give you an example of what kind of structure we could be building. In these Landbot, we're only having 3 products. So it doesn't really matter where I click, it's gonna show me the same product. So I'm gonna click on sale. And here it is. This is one of our new question types. It's pictures, and it's great because we do have the ask a question buttons classic type block, and it allows you to add images too, but these images are way bigger. So if you're showcasing products, it feels like a slideshow. So it's really great for e-commerce or to sell things and to show products. So we got 3 different products here. We got 3 different sunglass models, Quarter, Classic, and Heels. And let's say I want a pair of these. So I'm gonna click on Heels, $19.99, that's a fair price. And it says, oh no, unfortunately, we've run out of stock for that product. This is making real-time check of the stock, of the actual stock of my shop. So I'm going to show you later in my Google Sheet that I have the 3 products and how many units of each product I have. And if it's 0, it's going to launch that message. Oh no, unfortunately, we've run out of stock for that product. So I'm going to select like Quarter. I believe the flow is only built to, you know, to charge me for the Hills model, but I'll show you later on. Let's pick the Quarter one. Oh no, unfortunately, we've run out of stock for that product.
You can't buy anything there.
I believe this is, yeah, let's check the Google Sheet. I got 3 different sheets here, one of stock. And I got, yeah, it's making it every time it's checking the Hills model. So let's put an 8 there, and it should work. Let me refresh this just to make sure. So again, when we go to the flow, you'll see that it's quite complex, but it's still not as complex as it should be in order to work perfectly with each one of the 3 models. So this is just a simple flow to show you how it works. But I'll let you know what else you need to build in order to make it work properly. So yeah, let's click on sale again. Now Heels, there should be stock now. Awesome. It's available, so it's basically generating the payment. Stripe integration. I got my data here, but I'm not going to complete the payment. I'm going to cancel it. We're processing your payment. Please wait. Oops. It seems that you've canceled the payment. Remember, we have 3 different options. I'll show you later on for payments, successful payments, failed payments, and canceled payments. So in this case, it tells me, hey, it seems like you've canceled the payment. What do you want to do now? I can go back to products. I can go to info. All right, so this is the main flow. Later on, I'll change the flow so you can see the full flow when you purchase something. But let's go to the order tracking part, which is quite interesting too. So assuming I've already ordered something and I want to know where it is, please enter your order ID and we'll let you know its status. So it's from 1 to 10 in this demo. Let me put some 5 there. It's checking on the Google Sheet and it's bringing back information. Found it. This is your order status. It's in Shenzhen. Or there was, it was today, 2nd of August. What do you want to do now? Again, products or info. So now I'm going to do a little modification in the flow so you can see the whole purchasing flow. So let's go back to the builder. And as I was explaining for the Stripe integration block, let loads. Yeah, there's something wrong with the Zapier integration block. Let's check it. So every time a block blinks, it means that there's something wrong with it. Apparently it's all good. So let me apply this changes.
Maybe it's because it's not connected to the next one, or
yeah, it actually is.
Maybe we should check out the Zapier page.
Yeah, I think that with the internet loss, these connections are not properly loaded. So let me just refresh these guys. I'm going to reload the builder because since I lost the internet, I believe there was something wrong with the arrows and connections, and that's why I'm receiving that error. So yeah, so I was saying now I'm going to change this slightly the flow so I can go through the whole buying process, and I'm going to provide my address information for the delivery and stuff like that. So let me show it to you. I'm reloading the app. There are unsafe changes. You want to restore them? Not really. So let's wait. Great. Creating connections. It takes a bit long for big chatbots. So here on the Stripe payment, remember I always have 3 different options. So success, the payment was completed, failed if there was something wrong with the card number or something, and cancel when they click on the X symbol like I've just done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the very same path even if I click on cancel. So let me go there just to show you guys. And same with fail. So 3 arrows are there. I'm going to save it. And let's go back. Click on products. Select the category, sale. I want to save something. Let's go for the heels model. There's stock of it, so it's going to generate a payment. I'm going to cancel it, but now the cancel path also actually process the order. Thank you very much for your purchase. Now we need some information to complete the order. What's your full name? So it's Chris VR. And your email is chris@landbot.io.
Autofill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, let me go back because Jackie was reminding me that now there's this autofill feature. So depending on which question type is, when it comes to name or email or zip code or things like that, we do pretty much like forms do, and we have this autofill autocomplete feature. So you don't need to type it all, you just need to select it here. So it's quite convenient.
And it's depending on the cache of each browser. So if your browser doesn't save any data, obviously it won't show anything. But if you already have put email addresses before, it will show all the email addresses you have put there.
Exactly. So chris@landbot.io. Finally, where should we set the pair of fresh sunglasses? Type in your address, please. So I'm going to say something like, this is our current office. You can come here and have a beer with us. So awesome, Chris VR. Is this info correct? Full name, email, address, and product. So I can change my name, email, address, classic flow. I'm going to continue with it. We're good to go. You should be receiving the glasses in the next 48 to 72 hours. What do you want to do now? Again, products or info. If we go back and we check the Google Sheet and we click on orders, we'll see how my order is here. So it gets the full name, it gets the address, it gets the email, and finally the product. So you can keep track of all your orders straight into your Google Sheet. You can also be sending it through Zapier. I mean, if you're not using Google Sheet to track your orders and you have your own CRM, you can configure a Zapier integration block and just send the information there. But I think it's quite convenient. Google Spreadsheet is quite powerful and easy to use. It's also free, so it's great to use it as a CRM. So yeah, now we've seen the flow from the user's perspective. Let's see the flow for the chatbot builder. As you can see, there's a bunch of blocks here, but I'll explain you step by step how this flow works. So first we got this start message. As usual, we got 3 different messages with 3 buttons at the end. I think I've clicked. Yeah, these 3 messages with products, info, and order tracking. And we also have this persistent menu we've seen on the left side of the screen with products, info, contact, and order tracking. Oh, by the way, if I would have clicked on contact, I would have been led to a assign chat to an agent block. You already know this block. So this block allows you to actually take over the conversation. So it's going to send some messages to your visitor, like leave us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. It's going to ask for a way to reach back. And finally, it's going to transfer the chat to a human or to an agent from your team. If you're not connected, it's going to let the user know, like, hey, there are no agents available now. Could you try again later? So it's conditional on that side. And at the end, it gives you the possibility to start the conversation again or just to finish. And you can also finally configure this email notifications where every time someone clicks on contact, you'll be receiving an email. So it's quite convenient. But this is a classic block. I'm not gonna spend more time on it. But again, if you click on info, as we've seen, you got, well, some general information on shipping, return policy, about blah, 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 and all these blocks. But the interesting part comes here. So if you click on product, you got these 3 different categories. We've seen them, new collections and sale. They all lead to the same block. And this one is a pictures type block. So let's say it from the inside. So here it is. I got the 3 products with their images, the text here, and I'm saving it with the field name product. I need to remember that field name because I'm going to be sending it to Google Sheet, so it's important to remember it. And once you've selected one of these, the first thing I'm doing here is I'm making sure we have stock for that product. And what I do is I create a Google Sheet integration block, and you can see it here. So after this block, it's connected to this other block. That's basically in my account in this spreadsheet we've seen, again, e-commerce demo. It's going to check on the sheet stock. If I click on stock, and it's going to make sure, first it's going to get the variable. So you've selected the product Heels. So I'm going to be checking if that product specifically is available. And I'm going to be sending back to the chatbot the field units. So basically I'm saying, hey, I want to check the availability for the Heels product. And then I'll be sending back to the chat this number. And what I need now is a conditional logic block. That's basically, all right. So if units, that's the name of the field I've used. It's different from 0. It means that there is stock. So let's continue with this and let's connect this block with the Stripe payment. But if units equals 0, it means that we have no that that pair of glasses is not available. So it's going to follow the false path, and it's going to trigger this message. Oh no, unfortunately, we've run out of stock for that product. So you can just update these numbers as soon as you get the information, and the chatbot is going to make that check on the Google Sheet. And again, Google Sheet integration, first I need to send to the chatbot that information on the units available for that specific product. Then a conditional logic block. If units, it's different from 0, it means that it's available. Then I'm going to link it to the Stripe payment block. If there are no units available, false path, oh no, unfortunately, there are no units available. So it's quite simple to build, but sometimes if you don't think about it quite a lot, if you haven't built a lot of chatbots, it might be hard to kind of figure out how to build these these flows, but it's pretty simple using our builder. And next thing, once you complete the payment, we got another conditional logic block here. And this conditional logic block, it's going to make sure if you have already provided some contact information. So let me click on the block to show you. It's still loading. Let's wait for it.
Maybe we should close the other one and see.
Yeah, if it opens. It's taking a year. All right, here it is. So this conditional logic block, once you've completed a payment, it's basically, all right, so if the field name is set, it means that you've already been here, we've already talked to you, you've already purchased something. So I'm not going to ask you for your name, your email, and your address. You're just going to go to the final confirmation block, like awesome name. Is this information correct? So this is great. I think that there are a few things that bothers more than actually providing the same information over and over again. And these conditional logic blocks are really useful for this. So if I already got your name, it means that you've already been through these paths. So I'm not going to ask for it again. Just take you to these blocks. Awesome name. Is this information correct? And then you can change something if you wish, like your address or your email, but I'm not asking for it twice. All right. So once you've submitted all this information, once you've clicked on continue, there's another Google Sheet integration block. And this one is actually sending the order information we've sent it to the Google Sheet. So it's e-commerce demo, same spreadsheet, then orders. This is a different sheet. Let's go back to the sheet orders. And I got these different columns: full name, address, email, and product. And that's what I'm sending. So full name, I'm sending the field name, address, email, and product. So I can keep track of all those orders. All right. And once I've sent the order information, because the payment has been completed and the information has been submitted, then I send this message, simple message: we're good to go. You should be receiving the glasses in the next 48 to 72 hours. And finally, to finish the flow, we got this Zapier integration. This Zapier integration gets all the information collected and sends an email to the buyer. So let's go to our Zapier account here so I can show you. All right, so remember in Zapier, we always have a trigger and an action. The trigger, it's gonna be always a Zapier block activated, which means that a visitor has gone through that block. So if some of you sometimes create Zapier integration blocks, but you don't link it to the flow, it's really important that the flow goes through that block. If you don't reach that block, the Zapier is not going to happen. So you need to make sure that after all the information, name, email, address, then you place that block so Zapier is able to fetch those variables. In this case, I'm going to go through this quite quickly, but it's our app. The trigger is the Zapier block activated. Again, it goes through the Zapier integration block. You need to select on which specific Landbot you want to be using it. This is our account, webinar@landbot.io. And you can select also which specific block. So you can have several Zapier integration blocks. Actually, in this flow, I would need a different Zapier integration block for each product so I can customize the content. And I can say, hey, you've purchased this product or this other product. But in this demo, I only have one. You could create several. And then the action app, is actually Gmail. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to send an email. This is the action. I could create a draft. I could do some other things, but I'm going to send an email from my account, using my account, Chris to me. That's me. And this is the template I'll be using. So I'm going to be sending it to this. There's no data here, but this is the field email. And this is the body. So it's in HTML, but you can see, hi, name. This is a confirmation email for your recent purchase. The prayer will be sent to address and within, well, 48, 24 hours. That doesn't make much sense. And you can check your delivery status here for any other inquiry. So after making that purchase, we're going to send in that confirmation using Zapier and Gmail to our visitor, and we can send a copy to ourselves too. We can configure the BCC, the from name, pretty much everything, and just save this app and activate it, and you're good to go. Going back to the chatbot builder, yeah, let's see what happens with that order tracking. So we've seen the general information, we've seen the buying process. You select the model, we make sure there's a stock for it. If there is, then Stripe payment. We make sure we have or don't have your data. If we don't, we ask for it. If we do have your contact information, we go straight to this block. Then we send the information to Google Spreadsheet, and then we send an email with a confirmation for the order. But there's still that delivery status here. So if you click on order tracking anywhere in the flow, you'll receive this message we've seen just a minute ago. Please enter your order ID and we'll let you know its status. And we are storing this field as order ID. This is quite important. So we ask for it, we store the order ID, and then we have another Google Sheet integration block. Let's see how it works. So same account, same sheet, same spreadsheet, but different sheet. Actually, it's delivery tracking. And remember, we had 10 different orders here with different statuses. So what I'm doing here is I'm selecting the action, get data from a sheet. So basically, I'm going to be saying, all right, so I got order number 5. Please send me this order data, this status data. And that's why I need the action, get data from a sheet. So the reference row is going to be the order ID. The reference row is the information I have. I have the order ID. I'm asking for it to the visitor. So this will be my reference. I can select any other variable, but this is the one I'll be using. And then I'm going to save the variable another value, in this case, the status. So I'm going to tell them, all right, so the column status, store that value and save it in the field status. I'm quite original, but this means that I'm asking for the ID, I'm sending that ID to my Google Sheet, and I'm looking for a coincidence to bring back another value, in this case, status. Great. So this block, as you can see, has two different options. So success has failed. Success means that the order ID is actually among these numbers. If you submit, I don't know, 25, you're going to follow the fail path. And fail means that I'm afraid I was not able to find that order ID. Would you try again? And if that number exists in our column, then the true is going to be hit. And here I got a couple of conditional logic blocks. I don't really need those, but I just wanted to build a really, really cool flow for you guys. So I've created a couple of conditional logic blocks here. And what are these blocks about? The first one is if a status contains delivered, because as you can see here, I got different statuses like on transit, delivered, customs inspection, unknown. So I just wanted to customize it a little bit more. And the first conditional logic block checks if the field status contains the word delivered, which means that there's no need to track it. So if it does, we're going to send this message: woohoo, your order has already been delivered. Great. If not, then we'll go to the next conditional logic block. And this one contains the word unknown. This means there is a problem. And if if it contains the word unknown, we're going to send you this message. So true, because it contains the word unknown. Oh, it seems that your order status it's not available at the moment. Please try again later, another message, or contact help at sunglasses.co. And if it doesn't contain the word delivered, nor the word unknown, we're going to send this message. Found it. This is your order status, and we got the dynamic field status. Remember at the beginning of the presentation, I told you that we would be using our hidden fields feature. We are not sending variables through the URL, but hidden fields are really useful if you want to display, not to display variables. I mean, you can do this without the hidden fields. But if you want to use conditional logic for fields that you're not asking for, like status, I'm not asking for it. I'm just getting it from a Google Sheet. I'm gonna need a hidden field. So what I've done on this flow, if I click here on Power Ups, down here in hidden fields, I've added status and units. Remember when I was checking for the number of units available, and here where I'm checking for the status. So I'm not asking for this data. But if I want to use these fields in a conditional logic block, I need to create a hidden field. So Landbot knows that, all right, so these two fields exist, because both in the conditional logic block and in the other one, you need to select it. You cannot type it manually. So you need to select it, and it needs to exist. So every time you're bringing back information from a Google Sheet to your chat, and you want to use that field as in a conditional logic block or things like that, you need to create a hidden field for it. So Landbot now knows that it exists.
Just maybe one quick question from my part. If we only want to use it as a variable in a normal block, like a send message block, do we still need hidden fields?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, if I get rid of these two conditional logic blocks and I go straight to the status message, I don't need to add the hidden field, because sorry, it's not this one. This one. I don't need it. I'm just displaying it. I'm writing status manually. I can type in any given field name I want. But yeah, again, if I want to select it from a drop down, the system needs to know that it actually exists.
Yeah.
And you need to create a hidden field. Great. So that was it, guys. I think we can also have a quick walk through the design.
Yeah, maybe to show which template we were using, right?
Yeah, so here it is. As I was saying, we're using a different template. So if we click here on design templates, I think it's black.
Yeah.
So you can see that the menu is on the left side.
Maybe a quick question to our audience, and you can share it later in the chat section. Who does know that we have added this new template?
Yeah.
Just like to know if we have make a good communication about that.
Yeah. Sometimes it always happens. Sometimes we deliver features, and we communicated them, but sometimes not as clear as we should.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of questions on, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? And we're like, yeah, I mean, it's been available for the past 3 months, but it's our fault. I mean, we need to communicate a bit better these sort of new features. And yeah, we have quite a lot of new design templates. So if you don't want to start from scratch, or you want to use a different structure, you can use Blad. We also have this, I think this launch template gets rid of that top bar too, and it's more organic. So you can check different templates. They all have, or some of them have some CSS, some custom style sheet, so you can get inspiration too. So if you want to make your buttons round and you don't know how, because you don't really know how to code, you may want to select one of these templates that already has those rounded buttons, and all you have to do is go to advanced and check the CSS used here. So you can learn the name of the classes, and you can modify different things like things like this. You can do virtually anything using CSS. So it's quite interesting to know how it works and to know what the structure looks like. And yeah, I think that's basically it. Yeah, we tried to match different colors of the interface, make it visible. We had this sunglasses emoji here.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Sunglasses saying designer shades to hide your face.
There
Yeah,
is at least 4 sunglasses in the same picture.
yeah, it's like it's full of sunglasses. We wanted to make it clear, and and last but not least, I want to show you the new analyze section. This is quite interesting because we've made some updates. We're still working on it, but it's we believe it's way more useful than some time ago. So there's no data because there's some crazy range here, but basically instead of having only these 3 columns up here, we have now this graph. Well, there's no data here, so it looks quite bad, but this is actually a really cool graph. You can apply different ranges for, and yeah, it tells you about the conversion rate step by step. So it tries to take the analyze section a step further. Same with the results section. I won't have almost anything here. No, oh, sorry, I got some filters.
Yeah, maybe we should also explain how does the filter work.
Yeah, definitely. So I got all my contacts here, or the people that talk to our Landbot, and as you know, we have the different fields here. Now we can see the field name and the name, actually the question text, which is useful if you don't really know which field name or which question was that. You can check it here. You can also click here to display custom fields like, yeah, I don't want to see the country, or yes, I don't want to see the options, whatever. And here comes the filters. So this is really, really interesting because before you had to basically download the CSV and use your tool to analyze the results, but here you can apply filters like, all right, so I want that the field name, where it is, name here, has value or contains or does not equal. So let's say contains Chris. Yeah, so I'm basically filtering it. And this is useful if you're filtering by country or if you're scoring, and you can see how many users match your filters here, and you can add as many as you need. Same as with conditional logic. It works basically the same way. So it's just step further in order to help you analyze your conversations. Of course, if you're using Google Analytics or any other conversion tracking tool, you'll be happy with that, but we use both. I mean, we have our tracking tools. We use it for our website and many other places, but we also check our results section because to get quick data and to get quick information, it's quite useful. And we've done some major improvements, and again, more to come. So that was basically it. We'll stop sharing our screen and we'll check the Q&A section of the webinar. We'll try to answer them if there's any questions. So let me go back to Zoom, stop sharing, and we'll check the Q&A section. Yeah, actually, there are some questions here. Great. So let me turn on the camera. You know, many startups don't really like showing their faces, but we love showing our faces just to try to
humanize the conversation, right?
Yeah. All right, so let's go to the Q&A section. I'll start with on top. Yeah, you can if you want. So the first one is a question by Ellen. Right. Is it possible to receive the slides after the webinar? Absolutely, yeah. So we'll be sending the recording webinar. So yeah, slides too. Great. We'll do that. Answer live done. Great. Another question from Ilan or Island, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Do you recommend to use Landbot as a landing page? What about Facebook paid campaigns? That's a quite generic question. Well, I can tell you that Landbot started as a landing page experiment, or a sort of experiment. So basically we had a regular website and we decided to do some experiments with a full page conversation. And well, we were converting at a 4.5 conversion rate from visitor to lead, and we multiplied it by 5 or something with Landbot within a week. So yeah, definitely we recommend it as a landing page. It's actually its first and probably best use case so far. So yeah, go ahead. And Facebook paid campaigns, yeah, I mean, for every single paid acquisition campaign you might run, Facebook or AdWords or any other tool, yeah, it's great to send them instead of a regular landing page to a Landbot. Yeah, that's a great way to start with it. All right, so there is asking, guys, could you please send me all the PowerPoint or Google presentations prepared so far since your first webinar to my email address? All right. All right. Yeah, we'll be sending you the presentations available. I think we got like 6 or 7. So yeah, definitely.
Well, we should make sure if that's the email address he used to subscribe to the webinar, because if it's a different one, maybe we
might be sending, I mean, every single presentation just to him. So I need something to write down.
Yeah, I can write it on. Yeah, or if you just copy that, you can copy and then paste it somewhere else, right?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So how to book demo on Google Calendar using Landbot.io? Any module for that? There's actually no native integration with Google Calendar. We always get to the same point. So we got 2 different options. You can ask for the appointment information, like when do you want to meet, where do you want to meet, etc. And you can save those variables and send them through Zapier, for instance, to your Google Calendar. But the problem here is that the slot might not be available, and you cannot make that confirmation in real time. So there's a workaround, and it consists on iframing your Google Calendar, for instance. So instead of getting the information and sending it through Zapier to Google Calendar, you can just iframe the whole Google Calendar inside a message, so you can see your availability, and they don't need to worry about, you don't need to worry about that integration or about having empty slots or not. So iframing websites or apps is quite simple. And it's just some HTML. Actually, Jackie's looking for it, so we'll share it with you too. It's just a small snippet you need to add to a simple message, and you'll be able to iframe basically anything. So thanks for your question.
Yeah, if you just Google Google Calendar iframe, the first result just tells you how to get the code, and if you just put the code in a send message block,
Hey, everyone. Yeah, at least some of you are still there. We're really sorry about this. I don't know what happened. I mean, it was not an internet connection. I think it was, I don't really know what. I'm really, really, really sorry about these guys. I don't know what we were talking about. We were talking about
the iframe stuff.
The iframe stuff. All right. Again, sorry guys. I mean, everything's happening today. So yeah, we'll keep answering some more questions.
Oh, I think we have lost some of the old questions. So guys, maybe if we haven't answered your questions, please just ask it again, because in our Q&A section, we only have 2 questions.
Yeah, I believe they're somewhere. I mean, we'll be able to retrieve them and answer to you. Like the previous webinar, we've sent a Google Sheet with all the answers. I think so. But anyway, if you still have some questions, please type them in now so we can answer them. But Gabriel is asking, can you tell me whether I can use this for delivery of ebooks? Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, as long as your ebooks are uploaded in some URL, all you have to do is just like we did with in the flow we've showed, right after the Google the Stripe integration blog, after the payment is completed, you can send them straight to that URL so they can download it in PDF and EPUB and on any format. So yeah, definitely. I mean, as long as it's online and you can only access after buying it, yeah, definitely. It's a great use case, Gabriel. All right. Hi, GDPR subject Nick.
A little difficult to pronounce that name.
All right, Doris is asking, is there any possibility to ask open questions about the product, like the conversational equivalent of frequently asked questions section on a product detail page, or the search box that Amazon has, where you can search the product information? I know you guys wouldn't stay far from AI, but these might be pretty simple.
I think we can already do that with the instant search feature or the autocomplete feature. Yeah.
If you go to the chatbot builder, let me show you to you. So I'm gonna share my screen again. Where it is. So yeah, we have a feature.
Question.
Yeah, we got a question type.
Mm-hmm.
Ask a question. We got two different options. We can go for buttons and then make it searchable, or we can go for autocomplete. So this is sort of what Amazon has. So how can I help, for instance? And then I can add more, options like info about schedule, appointment, whatever, that, base, the other thing. And then I can keep adding more and more options. And let me show you how this is going to be displaying. So basically, you're going to be filtering between the options as you start typing, and you can just press enter to access that information. So I don't know why I'm speaking to I'm looking at the mic. Yeah, so where's this block I've just created?
Maybe you should connect it to the first block.
Here it is. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to connect it to the start message. This is quite useful. If you have a very long flow, you don't need to go through all of it to test some specific part. Just connect the default option from your start message to that block, and you can just test it. So I think I actually need to delete these connections.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we should be sure. But yeah, this too.
Or maybe, and then you should just connect the first block.
Yeah.
First option.
Yeah, it would have been better. But yeah, let's preview these Jaris so you can see how it works. It's taking a year to load. I'm using Yaki's personal network, by the way.
Yeah, that's
my
fault.
It might go a bit slow. So yeah, how can I help? So here I can just, as I click, I see the different options here, and I can scroll. But if I start typing, it's gonna be filtering those options, and I don't need to type it all. I can just click, press enter, and it's gonna select that specific option. So of course it's not intelligent. You need to type exactly how it's the same order for each letter, but I believe if you're trying to make it a bit more, to add a lot of options and to make it a bit more interactive, you can use your autocomplete type block. So hope that sort of
also maybe one more thing about that. It's also compatible with the emoticons and images. So in the search, you can even put some images in the with the text, and when people search, they can see the text and the image next to it.
Exactly. So
it can be very, very visual as well.
Yeah. So it's, even if it's a list, you can click here in the cogwheel, and you can select this in any other button, the style, if you want an icon, if you want an emoji, an image, to make it more visual.
Yeah.
Great. Let's stop sharing. All right. So Richard is asking, can I build a financial model and give the answers through Google Sheets? For example, net salary is X if gross salary is Y. You know what? That's that's a bit more complicated, and I'll explain you why. The thing is that when we send information, so it really depends on how you think of it. So let's say example one, I'm telling you my gross salary and you tell me my net salary. So if I'm telling you my specific salary and you want to make a calculation with it, this is not possible yet, because the action Google Sheet works with is create a new row. So you cannot write in an existing row and then apply a formula to it. It's going to create a new row every time. And that means it's going to remove all the formulas you have on that row because it's a new one. So that's example number one. If you want to provide the specific answer for each user, that's not possible. But if you're applying ranges, for instance, how much are you making? I'm making between 10,000 and 12,000. I'm making between 20,000 and 50,000. And then you look for that data, that information, and then bring back the net salary associated to that range. That's going to work because you're not creating a new row. You're just looking for that information for that range and bringing back the other value associated to it. Just what we did with the order status or with the stock availability. So if you apply ranges, or if you have a lot of different amounts or possible amounts in your sheet, yeah, that's possible. If you want to calculate it in real time, it's not, because you're creating a new row. Actually, we'll be iterating our Google Sheet integration because, yeah, we'll be adding more features to it. So Richard is asking too, you have the Stripe checkout template, so we don't have to build ourselves. I don't really know what.
We do have a Stripe block that you can use, but if by template do you mean the whole e-commerce or sell product template, we can think to share. The problem we have right now is many blogs are connected to our own accounts, like the Zapier, the Google Sheet, the Stripe. So when we share it with others, it won't work because it's connected to our accounts. What we will do is maybe replace those blogs with a text blog that tells you which Power Up blog you should use, and then you just need to replace it with the Power Up blog and connect it to your own account, and I think that can work.
Yeah, just to show you a little example on how the blog, because I haven't showed it. Let me delete this previous blog. So here's the Stripe payment blog. Yeah, so if I click here, you'll see the configuration. So I've already integrated my my Stripe account, and yeah, you just need to set the amount, the currency, and the little description. So this is something you need to do manually. We know that if you have a lot of products, well, it can take some time, but yeah, right now we need to enter all this information manually. You can also customize the loading messages when the pop-up is appearing or when the payment is being processed. But yeah, that's something you need to do manually. All right, and last question from GDPR subject Nick. How to integrate JotForm or MailChimp or MyMood form? So for JotForm and MyMood, I don't know about MyMood, but I'm pretty sure that JotForm is part of Zapier's directory. So as long as an app is part of their directory, which actually has more than 1,000 apps, you can just collect information with Landbot and send it to your app. So I believe JotForm is part of that integration. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Richard. So with MailChimp, it's basically the same. It's part of their directory, but we also have a native integration for MailChimp. So you don't need to go through Zapier. You can just share screen again. You can just configure a a MailChimp integration blog. So if I close this blog, so instead of sending the information to Zapier and then to JotForm or to MyMood, we have the native integration. So all you have to do is click here on integrations and click here on MailChimp, and same process. You're gonna link your account, you're gonna select the list, you're gonna select the group, and you'll be sending all that information straight to your MailChimp account. If you're gonna do that, keep in mind something really, really important, and is that For instance, if you're sending a field that's a phone number in Landbot and you tell MailChimp that that's actually a phone number, MailChimp, for instance, in this case, it's going to try to validate the format according to American phone numbers. That's something you need to keep in mind. So every time you send a specific validated format field to MailChimp from Landbot, you need to make sure that the format is actually correct. If not, it's always better to create some free text field on MailChimp so you don't need to worry about the format. This is something important. You might notice that it's not sending the information. If the format is not correct according to MailChimp, the information is not going to be sent. So use custom fields. I think it's easier. And was it great? Yeah, I'm really sorry. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've missed some messages. Yeah, one more. This will be the last, guys. Did you answer the branded URL question? I don't think so. So if you can type it in again. But again, we'll be checking if we are able to access the previous questions. It's a pity that we haven't answered them. We've been through every single problem possible. So yeah, we'll wait for some seconds for that anonymous guy to ask the question about the branded URL. But if you're talking about our domain, like having it under our own domain, landbot.io, by default, every Landbot you create, it's going to have an URL in our domain. That's going to be landbot.io/u/code. If you want to embed it into your own website, all you have to do, sharing screen again, and we strongly recommend it. I mean, our URL is cool. It's really, really great. But if you embed it into your website, you're going to get a lot of more traffic and you're going to convert more. So if you click here on share, oh, sorry, it's not connected. Sorry, message. Come on. It's a cell phone internet connection with a whole webinar. So yeah, we need to be patient. So if we, yeah, it's connected already. So if I click on the share section, the first thing I'll see is the URL in our domain, the default URL I was telling you about. This is the URL. I can copy it, I can open it. But if I click here on the left on embed into your website, here I can select the format I'm interested in, full page, classic Landbot, widget, or live chat. And all I have to do is copy this snippet and paste it into my website. So if you want to have Landbot in your own domain, you don't want to use landbot.io, you want to use your domain, just move on to share, embed into your website, select the format you're interested in, copy the snippet and paste it into your website. It should be as easy as that. If you have any implementation problems, just let us know and we'll review with the technical team. But yeah, it's definitely possible to have it under your own domain. Great, guys. So I think that was it. Again, we'll try to retrieve all those questions. If we're not able to do so, please just let us know. Send us your questions to help@landbot.io, and we'll answer them as soon as possible. So thank you very much for being on this webinar. If you have any suggestions for following use cases webinars, please let us know too. We'll be more than happy to hear. So thank you very much.
Great. Bye.